Do you think ghosts exist? They sometimes ask me that. I always reply, I don't know. How can you say no if you can't see them? But saying yes would mean believing that something terrifying could be near me at any time. It doesn't feel good. I don't know what I am thinking, but my little sister, Lily, she's different. She's always been certain, too certain, about things no one else sees. When she was small, she would point at things that weren't there. One afternoon, a few years back, she was in the car with Dad, riding on the federal highway. They passed by a massive wreck, smashed cars, twisted metal everywhere, and an ambulance in the distance. Dad told her it was awful. No one could have survived. As they passed by, Lily said, "Why is that man standing there with clothes all red and dirty?" Dad, driving, figured some poor guy stepped out, injured but alive. "Probably hurt badly," he said to her. Later, at home, he told us about it and told us to watch the news. That evening, on television, the victims' faces flashed by, all dead, killed on impact. Lily tugged on Dad's shirt and pointed at one. "That's him. What happened?" Dad turned pale. The guy she saw, dead like the others. I never saw it myself, so I can't say for sure. She wouldn't have lied though. She was still too young to do that. But it just slipped my mind over the years. Just another strange family myth. Until we moved. It was roughly 10 years ago. We had just moved into a new home in a quiet neighborhood. A 2-story bungalow, nothing out of the ordinary. In front was a giant tree, with branches stretching up to the second floor. It seemed ordinary enough. After a long day of moving in, we slept in our own beds. Lily's room was on the second floor, next to that tree. Her window was facing it, close enough to touch the leaves. I didn't give it a thought until night. At midnight, she screamed and woke me up. I ran to her room. Mom and Dad were already there, hugging her as she cried and held them tightly. I thought it was her sight again, so I didn't question. I went back to bed, knowing she would tell me everything in the morning. She did at breakfast. She said she caught laukiln, a cold gust of air, off the window. When she was drifting off to sleep, she got up to shut it, looked out, and saw her. An old woman, curled up in the tree. Her white hair shimmered in the moonlight. Her hands had only 3 fingers, each ending in a long, sharp claw. Her red eyes locked onto Lily, smiling. Sounded like a bad horror flick to me. But Lily's face was completely serious. She begged to switch rooms. Dad didn't hesitate. "Who'll switch?" he asked. My other siblings stayed silent, staring at their plates. Maybe scared, maybe just hoping someone else would go. Lily looked at me, begging. I couldn't say no, not with her looking like that. "I'll switch," I said. She hugged me tightly back, then whispered softly in my ear, "Don't do anything stupid, okay? Promise." I brushed it off. I shouldn't have. That evening, I brought in my belongings. I sat at my desk, typing a school assignment. After a while, I felt a cold draft on the back of my neck. The window was slightly open. I thought I had closed it tight, but it's an old building, so there are gaps. I got up, closed it, and then suddenly felt like peering out. Lily's tail frightened me. I had to see for myself. My heart was pounding as I approached the window. Outside, the crickets chirped loudly. I peeked at the tree. Nothing. Just bare branches swaying in the wind. I laughed. I was being foolish to get so frightened. "If you're out there," I joked, "why don't you show yourself?" Everything stopped. Crickets went silent. The breeze vanished. The air felt thick, heavy, like it was holding its breath. I froze. Branches creaked slowly, but there was no wind. Then there were whispers, soft, hissing words I couldn't understand. My head was suddenly filled with an image. White hair, claws out, the woman lunging at me. The whispers grew louder, angrier, pressing into my skull. I backed away, my chest tight. A knock at the door shook me out of it. "Are you awake?" Lily asked. Everything stopped. Whispers, branches, visions, everything disappeared. I dropped to my knees, gasping, with sweat pooling on the floor. "You okay?" she asked, knocking again, worried now. "Yeah," I managed, my voice shaking. Mind wandered. "What's up?" "Just checking," she said, soft. "I'm worried about you." "I'm fine," I lied. "Go sleep." "I'm crashing too." She hung around, then left. I looked at the clock, 2 a.m. I had been standing by the window for hours, looked out again. Nothing. Completely drained. I shut the curtains, got into bed, and passed out. The next morning, I woke up dazed. Told myself last night it was just my imagination. Went to take a shower, but halfway, my back hurt. Prickly, like cuts. Stumbled out. Looked in the mirror. 6 deep scratches, 3 on each side, red and raw. I just looked, heart racing. Didn't say anything to anyone, especially Lily. Told her I must have scratched myself in my sleep. Some days, I almost believed it. Things only became stranger after that. One evening, I heard tapping. Slow, like nails dragging on glass, peered out at the curtains. Nothing but the tree, as motionless as death. The next morning, 3 claw marks on the glass, deep, new. Another evening, I discovered leaves, dry, curled, on my desk. The window was shut. There was no way they could have gotten in. Then the nightmares began. That woman, white hair, red eyes, claws, sitting in the tree, looking at me. She'd whisper my name, low and raspy. I'd wake up drenched in sweat, my room ice cold. Weeks afterward, I was in the kitchen when Lily shrieked again. I ran upstairs to her old room, where she had gone to get a sweater. She was shaking and gesturing at the window. "She's back," she cried. I looked, but didn't see anything. She was there, she continued, smiling at me. That night, I heard footsteps, creaky and soft, over my room. The attic was up there, but no one ever went inside. I kept hearing it, night after night, as if something was walking. The surprise came a month later. Dad was pruning the tree out front, a large branch in the way of the sun. I assisted in dragging it down. When it landed on the ground, something came out. A little carved wooden doll, old and weathered, 3 claws on each hand, painted red eyes, white yarn hair. My stomach fell. Lily spotted it and went white. "That's her," she breathed. "We burned it in the backyard, watched it turn to ash. We thought that would be the end of it. It wasn't." That evening, the tapping returned, louder, more insistent. I lay in bed, eyes closed, until it went away. In the morning, I found the doll's head on my pillow, unburned. Window locked, door closed. There was no way it could have gotten there. I flushed it down the creek, watched it disappear. The next day, it came back, wet, covered in mud, sitting on my desk. I quit sleeping in that room after that, moved to the couch downstairs. A couple of months later, we moved. Dad's job. Nothing supernatural. Never saw her again. But a week ago, I was driving home through my hometown, and I drove by that house. The tree was still there, bigger now. I felt eyes on me, heavy, watching. Arrived home and saw 3 fresh scratches on my car door, deep, new. Lily called me that evening, voice trembling. "I dreamed about her," she told me. "She said you owe her." "Owe her what?" "I have no idea. But I hear tapping now and then, light on my apartment window. Nothing's there, yet. She's not finished with me. I don't know if she's a ghost or something else, something worse. A witch maybe. Bound to the tree, tied to that doll. Lily saw her first, but now she's part of my life. Do you believe in ghosts? I still don't know, but I do believe in her.